19-year-old Darren Monty Lamont II. He's a varsity athlete and a bright light in his community. The suspect is a 17-year-old accused of luring him to his death and then bragging about it on Instagram. Here, the defense is asking for house arrest so the teen suspect can finish his GED. Watch what happens when a grieving mother confronts the accused killer face to face, and then listen closely to how the judge rules on this evil act.
Yeah. Good afternoon. My name is Elisa Van Arsdale. It's spelled E-L-I-S-A. Van Arsdale is V-A-N-A-R-S-D-A-L-E, and I am the mother of Darren Lamont Van Arsdale II, who we will now refer to as Monty. That was what he was known as. But I just want to speak really. Last time we spoke, I did not get an opportunity just because of emotions, but I'm hearing about the the suspects and what they are, but my son was 19 years old. He graduated on time from high school in May of 2024.
Where did he go to high school?
Hillgrove. He went to Hillgrove High School for 3 years, and he graduated from Westlake High School his senior year.
Okay, I know Westlake. Where's Hillgrove?
Powder Springs, Cobb County.
Got it.
My son was an amazing, bright light that just affected everybody and infected everybody in such a positive way. He lit up a room when he came in. He was a four-year varsity letter basketball player at 5'6". He could jump through the roof. He was very well known throughout the entire Cobb County, just for personality and athleticism. He did a program when he in 11th grade. He did the early entry because he thought he wanted to go into the United States Marine Corps. So he did the early entry program to there, and even did the weekend at downtown, and then decided, maybe that's not for me. And then he went and did his insurance adjuster's license, just trying to find his way at 19 years old. He also decided he wanted to get into being a athletic personal trainer. So he was very into fitness. But I just want to, just speak to, what he was and what this has done to us as a family. Evil comes in and it comes to rob and steal and destroy, and it has done just that. It has destroyed the foundation of my family. We have 5 children, and it has left me and my husband and my kids shattered into a million pieces. We're trying to put the pieces of the puzzle back together, but obviously that puzzle will never be whole because my son was a big part of it. He was a big part of it. I mean, every family gathering, every family dinner, every family vacation. I mean, every year we did that, and this year we couldn't do it. We just couldn't. We had to celebrate his birthday in September, without him, and just learning to live life without him is just.
Would he have turned 20 this September, or he would have turned 19?
20.
Okay.
He was 19 at the time of the incident. So I just, we just love that boy so much, and he impacts everybody. It's not just our family, because we've been in this community for 26 years. So he was raised in this community, and he's a part of the community. So not just us, but the community, teachers, administrators, friends, mates, and everything is just affected, so greatly. I mean, we did a celebration for him for his birthday, and over hundreds of people came out for this celebration. But let me just go on record. I definitely am opposed to any type of bond for Mr. Shambliss here. It is shown that he was the person that made last contact with my son. He was the person that FaceTimed him minutes before he left the home and headed to this location.
Is he, Mr. Shambliss, someone that you or your family were familiar with through Monty?
Nope, never heard of him.
So whatever connection they had was remote enough. This wasn't like, oh yeah, Shambliss, he's been over here a few times.
Correct.
Okay.
I was not aware of him. We were never even aware of our son going to this part of Atlanta. I mean, this is a surprise and a shock. I don't know how many times he went. I don't know the details. Questions I probably would never get answered, which I wish I could. Like, why? What was the reason? But he was the lure that got my son, to come over there. My son, at the time of his death, he worked at Federal Express. He was actually on his way to work and made this stop and never made it to work, and never will make it to work, or another sunset or sunrise, or another Thanksgiving, or another Christmas. So, to have his life taken, and then for the Sussex to act for some sort of freedom is beyond me. I hear the attorney here say that they don't know the work schedule. I think that's important to know what the schedule of the people where he's going to be going is. Also, like it was stated, it is in Cobb County. We're not just a part of a certain part of Cobb County. There's people all over Cobb County that know my son and, you know, are very distraught and upset about what has happened. So, I definitely ask that there be no bond at all. I mean, a reasonable bond would be 10 million, but there's no price on my son's life. So there's no price of a bond that should be let out so that these people can continue to enjoy what we no longer can enjoy, you know? And like I said, it's just hatred and evil, and I don't want to be lurking around it. And I don't think, as far as, you know, a detriment to the community, I think that it is. I mean, you lured my son to your own community. What more would you do to another community? There's people that live in this community that's lived here for decades, and you're multiple shots and a dead body, you know, a body laying on the ground. I mean, it's just too much to think that you brought that to your own community. Why would I now want to invite you into another community? So, yeah, I definitely go on record as saying there's no bond that should be set now or ever.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You are entering a complicated time for your family. It's the holidays and Monty won't be there, and you have a real unpleasant anniversary coming up at the end of December. So,
Yeah, refer to it as the angelversary. Yeah.
all right.
We'll figure out how to honor.
I feel for you all, and I appreciate you being here and finding the strength to share that. It's always good to hear from people who are connected with the person who lost his life.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
He's a person that meant a lot to everyone, to a lot of people.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's clear.
So thank you. Thank you for hearing me.
You're welcome.
All right.
Mr. Bate, anyone else? Great. Okay. Well, I do want to address the family in one way, and that is that, and I trust either Mr. Bate or the victim advocate has explained to you all that while you feel you expressed a degree of certainty that Mr. Chambliss did X or Y or Z, I need to treat him with the presumption of innocence that sits upon anyone charged with any crime. So I'm not deciding in whatever I rule today that he did or didn't have a role in what happened. I'm required by law to focus on, number one, is it likely that Mr. Chambliss would show up for court for any future proceedings? That's the dictate from the appellate courts, is the likelihood to reappear. A very, very close second, to me, it ought to be equal, but it's a close second, would be the safety of the community, which is what you were touching on. And I certainly think about that. And then Mr. Abate flagged another factor that I need to weigh, which is any risk that witnesses would be interfered with or intimidated. And intimidate doesn't mean you walk up to them and say, I'm going to get you. Intimidation can mean, hey, you know, you need to tell a slightly different story, or let's all cover for this guy or that guy. And that's something that I need to assess as well. Ms. Smarch, I want to turn back to you as the movant to see if there's anything you want to say to wrap things up. You've heard what Mr. Abate had to say. I'll repeat. That's helpful for me to hear. I don't take it as proven, but it provides a framework. I have found Mr. Abate in particular, but the DA's office in general, to be candid about things. And if Mr. Chambliss's connection was he provided the car that other people drove, he'd say, look, we indicted him, but he provided the car that people rode in. We don't even think he was there. And that's not what I heard. And so while it's not proof of anything yet, it is an indication of interconnectedness that makes me think about this in a different way than if it was his car, and that's the way we link him in. But with that said, anything more you want to add?
Yes, Judge. I mean, I do understand and I sympathize with the family. This is not easy. But I do, as I said, I did just discovery, so I personally have not gone through everything. I do understand some of what he's saying is listed in the original warrants, but we would like to go through it. So I can't speak on discovery at this time.
I didn't expect that.
But as I said, I believe there are some individuals that are out. He has no history. And I know that there's more steps that are to come in discussions with the state in regards to any alleged interactions. In this case, for Mr. Chambliss specifically, that will be worked on, either with or without the bond. I know that it's another step in the process. It's an odd timing for the hearing today based on what I have knowledge-wise for this case, but, we do have the family support. We have a system. He does want help. He asked me for the help. So we're working on that together. And I believe with house arrest, keeping him confined in online school, if we need to limit, I mean, of course, there will be no contact. I understand with, any family victims, co-defendants, anything. But we can further limit that if need be with more restrictions. But we just want to get him home and get him out of the jail at 17, Judge.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. What I'm going to do is ask, I'm not going to set a bond right now, Mr. Chambliss, but let me explain what's happening. I'm not going to set one in 10 minutes either. I didn't want you to think it was that way. It would help me if you could please, Ms. Smart, send to Ms. Nelson, but copy Mr. Abate. Here's the address we're talking about. And then if you could do the same, Mr. Abate, for the Van Arsdale household. Cobb is big, but it's small at the same time. And so if the two addresses are too close, then it's a non-starter. And then you just need to look for a different location if I'm going to think about setting a bond, because there needs to be a safe and stable location for Mr. Chambliss to go to. That's not where he was when this happened, when this situation arose. And you found one, but it may be that the proximity to the Van Arsdale household doesn't work for reasons I'm sure you appreciate, and that Ms. Van Arsdale articulated very effectively. So I need those addresses. And then number two, I want to give you more time to do what you complaining. I don't mean it in that way, but you observe. Like I got to take Mr. Abate at his word. I haven't had a chance to look through this hard drive. I want you to do that. And you may want to ask for some guidance. Hey, where do I find these private messages in the 82 gigabytes that I got? And they say, go to the directory that says bad news or something, and you can go there. But I am very open to having another discussion about this after you've had a chance to digest the kinds of things that Mr. Abate was referring to. But I'll tell you that based on his representations that Mr. Chambliss not only was aware of what was going on, but was, and this may not have been his word, but sort of boastful or celebratory about his participation in it. I'm not inclined to set a bond. And while I appreciate there would be structure to what you've set up, if we had the county funded ankle monitor with a curfew that is, it opens up only for work or going to an at-promise center for GED or maybe treatment for behavioral health needs, I'm not quite there yet. But I do want to give you an opportunity to look through discovery where we might come back and say, Judge, actually, we're going to allow in, just for purposes of bond, these 6 pages of exchanges, because I think if you read them all the way through, you will see that that's not the full story. So I'm always open to that. I won't set a deadline for that. You will go through it as you are able, and if it reaches a point where you think we ought to revisit this, I'm always open to that. The other time I'm open to revisiting this denial of bond at this point would be if you are running into the state's not ready. The state doesn't have this. We haven't had that yet. Mr. Hiles worked very hard before he took his leave to have all this information available. But that doesn't mean it's all the information. And so you may look in there and say, wait a minute, there's a police report that says my client gave a statement to the police. It's not in here. And if we're waiting week after week to get your client's statement, then we need to talk about bond again. If any delays are occasioned by the state not being ready or not having, as opposed to you wanting more time, that to me is a crossroads where we need to say, well, we have someone who's presumed innocent, who's 17, sitting in jail, not advancing in any way that's helpful to anyone in the community. And he's stuck there because the state can't find the body cam for this person. Then we would talk about it again. But if discovery is flowing, you file your motions and we're able to move this along, then I'm going to maintain things the way they are. Does that make sense? Okay. Mr. Chambliss, everyone else but you did the talking right now, and that was appropriate. Do you have any questions about anything I said? No, sir. Okay. What's going to be next for you is time with both your lawyers as they go through this discovery, they may ask me to sign an order that lets them bring a laptop in so you guys can see it. If it's video, if it's paper, they can leave you with some of the paper. Be thoughtful about how much you want. Having discovery in jail is a two-edged sword. It lets you read it and you're going to understand it better. And you'll be able to say, hey, look at page 22. That's real important. But you also, having discovery in jail gets people curious. What do you have there? And it can make life complicated for you. So talk with your lawyer about it before you say, I want a copy of everything. Okay. Ms. Smarch, anything else on behalf of Mr. Chambliss?
No, Judge, you said there's no time limits per se for refiling. If
No, not at all. Other than, don't refile tomorrow saying, oh my gosh, it's oppressive conditions. I get it. Union City is not a happy place to be. That part I'm aware of. And so we would reconvene because you have something to add to the conversation we have, not to repeat something we already heard. And what you'd be adding is, let's look at discovery together, or we have been ready to move this forward and the state is stuck somewhere. And my client is ready for trial right now or ready for this motion to suppress, but the state keeps saying we're not ready. Then we should talk about bond again. Okay?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Abadi, anything else from the state? Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Oh, he can stay. It's a technical question. It's up to you whether you want to hear it. Mr. Blackwell still doesn't have a lawyer. It is not your job to assign lawyers, but he needs one appointed. For a while, Ms. Cabrera's name was attached to it because she's sort of the default person as she's not a conflict defender, but you're with GPDC, or am I mistaken?
But East Metro.
I understand, and it won't be you.
Around the corner for me.
And it's not going to be you, and it's not going to be Ms. Williams, but who do I need to bug to get Mr. Because that's a place where we're stuck, and that's not on the state.
Joy Walker.
Joy Walker.
Yes.
Okay.
She should be able to.
All right, and not Mr. Luemba. I don't even.
One of our contract attorneys.
Okay. And he has a defendant, as does Ms. Cabrera. So I think he's done. He sometimes helps with assignments, some contract he has with GPDC, but Joy Walker is who I should.
She handles that Fulton.
Okay. I will reach out to her and we'll figure out.
I'll nudge her as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Would you mind spelling your last name for me one more time?
Oh, yeah. It's SMARB.